What's up? How's everybody doing today? Oh, Shane, you're trying to fight off the flu? That's not good. I definitely didn't have the flu, but I felt pretty terrible. But feel great today. Totally back. Didn't hurt that I took a nap for about 2 hours up in the chair when the girls were running around screaming, but that didn't stop me from sleeping. No volume, no one can hear me. Is that not true? Okay, you can hear me. Nathan, you can't hear me? Something's wrong. You must have it muted. Everybody can hear me and see me, right? Not true? You hear? Okay, there you go. Perfect. I changed some settings here. I was just making sure that stuff was playing correctly. There's your volume. I do the same thing too. Don't take it personally. So last night, pretty cool, right? Is my brother John on here? John, are you on right now, watching? My younger brother John, I talked to a few minutes ago. He said he was going to watch. He didn't know how to comment. So if he's on, John, if you're on, comment. Let's see here. Maybe he's not on. I played him some stuff actually before I was playing. I played him some Rush. He's reminded me that he played golf with Alex Lifeson 6 months ago, which I forgot about. And I played him the Closer to the Heart. Chris Anderson, don't know Chris Anderson. Herbie Hancock recommends. Okay. Jay, you had to turn down your guitar today. Get your preamp fixed. New tube is warming up nice. There you go. Why did you sell that guitar, John? Exactly. It's John with a Jon though, Roberta. He would be. He's been battling that his whole life. So about last night with the thing. So all they do is they just demonetize you. I had 6 copyright infringements last night. I think it was 6 or 7, but they didn't take the video down. So there you go. And they just take the money from it. They split it between the 6 different companies, so it really ends up being nothing for them. So it sounded like there was a recording error. Oh, there was there was a punch in the solo that I could hear. You can hear all that stuff when you go back and listen to these all these different multi-tracks. When they're on tape, you can hear punch-ins all over the place. If you know what they sound like, they're little, you hear a little in there. They might kill my channel. They're not going to kill my channel for that. Those songs are already, what's up, Rob? The songs are already out there on YouTube anyways. They make money the same way. Whether I play them or not, doesn't matter. I mean, the worst they'll do is they'll take down the video or something, but they're not going to do that. That's the issue with that. Biswaddeep, I'm working on volume 2. That's going to be out possibly tomorrow. It would have been out today. John says he's on, but it's not letting him comment. What does he need to do to comment? Is there something, does he have to sign in or something to comment? Does anyone have to comment? What do you need to do? He's on his phone. I don't know. I've never really tried to comment on my phone. He has a Google account. John, you have a YouTube account, right? Text me if you do. He does. He has a YouTube account. Are you signed in? You have to be signed in, John. Open the comment screen and type. Oh, there he is. There's John. Everybody say hi to my little brother. Look at that. He's the other Beato musician in the family. There you go. Jon. See that, John? That my parents gave him the name John. It's not Jonathan. It's just Jon, and that was a conscious choice on their part, which is strange because my middle name is John, but my middle name is John. So they named me John with John as my middle name, and they named him Jon. Go figure. So, not Giovanni, Maurizio. No, but John has been to Italy. Unlike me, he's the true Italian of the family. He knows all the he knows the whole clan. He knows all the ones in Italy even. So, John's a great guitar player. We started basically in the same week, and have been playing ever since. He practices a lot more than me. If any of you, when you pick up the Iden, if you get the New York concerts, the videos that are up on idensmusic.com, you'll see my brother John sitting right behind Iden. He's right in the front, literally right behind Iden. So, does he know Italian or Sicilian? John? Probably he knows some of both. He's, how much do we look alike? He looks much younger than I do. He has all dark hair. I don't know why. He's 4 years younger than me. But he's a great guitar player. We pretty much have I would say we're pretty similar in abilities. But I practiced a lot more than him. So, you see me shaking, I always shake. Is John wearing a black tee? And you'll get Alex Lifeson. John says he'll get Alex Lifeson to do sounding off. That would be amazing. Will my new book have all the modes? The updated Beato book will have all them. Would have the other two remaining modal scales that are missing, which are that were missing from the Beato book, which is the harmonic major and double harmonic major. But that's only really just a page, a couple pages each. So not that big a deal. They're already in it. Jay, it's just vibrato. I always shake like this. I don't know why. I've always been like that. But John is in a band called Northside Johnny. It's one of the biggest cover bands in Rochester. And he's they've been doing it since really they started in 1984. John started the band, and then they got back together in 2003, and they've been playing. They play about three times a month or so. Would I practice the same scales and arpeggios stuff on guitar and keys? Absolutely. So Alex would be great to have on there because, yes, Northside Johnny. But Northside is all one word. What do they play? They're a 70s cover rock band. So they play... You still do your Led Zeppelin set, John? They do a Led Zeppelin, 13-song Led Zeppelin medley. It's Johnny, it's Johnnny, I think, right, John? Is he still up there? He might have gone to bed. Funny about John is that when he was, he works for our next older brother, Ray. They work, my brother's got a heating and air conditioning distributorship that John's a salesman for. And John, so John used to come in. He's one of these people that can sleep for 2 hours and go to work. He's always been like that. Always in college, whenever. He would be, get home 3 a.m, sleep for 2 hours, get up, go to work, no problem. That's a Beato trait there. Not much sleep needed. But can take a nap at any time, I'm sure, in about 2 seconds, like I can, and just out. Question here, Rick. Have you posted any stuff on quartal harmony? I have a video called Quartal and Quintal Harmony. That's actually a really cool video that I did way back about a year and a half ago or so. Oh, no black shirt again? Is that 2 nights in a row? I decided to wear a gray shirt. Let's see. John just sent me a message here. Oh. I don't know if you can see this. He sent me a picture of him and Alex Lifeson together. Wait a second. There you go. That's John and Alex Lifeson. John is my brother on this side. This side. Whoops. There we go. So that's John and Alex Lifeson when they played golf. Or actually, that's the night before when they went out to dinner. Black t-shirt must be in the wash. I have about 100 black t-shirts. Yeah, look that up. That's a good video. The quartal and quintal. So, anyways, yeah. So John played in his foursome with Alex. That's pretty cute. That's pretty cool, I think. Anyways, so last night. Let's talk about last night. Pretty cool, right? It's nice to hear those multi-tracks. It's really informative, I think. One other thing I realized too that they do in the Blink 182 song that I forgot to mention is that when they do the octaves over the chords, he plays an F. He goes bum 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 on the he plays an F over the C chord, so he plays C sus right where the vocal melody is singing an E. So he's got the F and the E together right next to each other in the exact same register. And so that's the other dissonance that they have. So they have 2 dissonances in the chorus. They have a half step and they have a minor 9. So so that's really cool. I've got some more multi-tracks that I'll prepare. Some of them have the same problem that I had with the Police song, where for some reason I have to re-import them into a new session because I put them together way back on my mix system 15 years ago or so. So some of the sessions haven't been open. Some of them have really weird. Some of them have really weird routing in them, things like that, and so I'm not sure why that one Police thing did not work right. There's some weird. There's some bug in Pro Tools. I don't know if anyone else that has Pro Tools have noticed this. There's a bug with track grouping, because for some reason, so I had the track there, nothing was grouped, and I hit the solo button and all the tracks soloed at once, and I hit it and they unsoloed, and I had no groups on. So what I did was I suspended the groups, and then they worked. Then I could solo tracks, but only one of the tracks was only one of the songs was like that. So there's definitely there's either bug in the new Pro Tools, or there's some weird routing between systems. Because when you go back to sessions, because I do this a lot, I go back and I open sessions. I opened up a drive from 2004 yesterday that I had not opened once since. That actually it's cool because it's got drumming from Kenny Aronoff and from Josh Freese. I don't know if you guys know who they are, but they're phenomenal session drummers. They're on a million records. And I did a record that they each played drums on different songs. And it's I was transferring over some of the material, but that particular drive only had Firewire 400 ports on it, and the routing was really weird, so I had to, it imports. It was done at a different studio, and it imports all the I/O settings for some weird reason, and that's the thing I couldn't figure out with with the with that Police song. I don't know why. So weird. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Who's my favorite session drummer? Well, I've worked with a bunch of them, and I would say I've worked with Vinny, I've worked with Josh Freese, I've worked with Kenny Aronoff, and they're all, Vinny is, they're great for different things. The drummer from my old band, Darren, was on Stephen Colbert 2 nights ago, playing with Anderson East. He's his drummer. And Darren's one of my favorite drummers. And I played in a band with him for 5 years, and he's played on tons of sessions of mine. And I've seen him play on Letterman and Colbert and all these, with all different bands over the years. And so, it really depends on how for me as a producer, it's how the people play on the track. So ultimately, Jeff Porcaro was a great studio drummer, no question about it. But once again, a lot of his the skills that he had that he used in Toto, for example, wouldn't be needed 10 years ago or 15 years ago when Josh Freese was doing all the session work out there, or doing a lot of it, or Kenny Aronoff. So it's really hard to say. It's a matter of, can you play the right part for the track. I worked with Jerry Murata once with him, and it was in the same session that with Tony Levin. And Jerry Murata is on some phenomenal, really famous records. Just an amazing drummer with a really unusual feel, a great, great feel. And his brother Rick is a famous session drummer too. And they don't play like anybody. Jerry Murata doesn't play like anyone that I've ever heard. So, what's up, Ray? Start the rebellion. So I think it's how do you play for the track ultimately. When I worked with Josh Freese, and Josh is on many, many, many records, and he, when I first had him set up and play, I kept thinking to myself, man, he doesn't play with a lot of dynamics. And then I went in the control room and I listened, and everything was perfectly even. And then I came back out and I'm listening and thinking, man, no dynamics. But then in the control room, it sounded incredibly dynamic. And it was the strangest thing. It was super consistent. And he knows that's when you get hired for a studio session, that consistency is a huge part of it. It's not just your feel. It's, do you hit in the center of the drum every time? Do you play with dynamics? Do you have a great sound? Can you pull the sound out of the drums? Brett said Peter Gabriel. Now, Brett, does Jerry play on So? Is he the drummer on So? I'm curious because Tony Levin obviously played on that, and Jerry Murata, I want to say, played on some Peter Gabriel. But he's on a lot of famous records, and he played on one track with Trey that from the Menu Cache was on that record. Yes, he played on So. Yeah, because I think that they had multiple drummers on those records because they ended up. Tony told me that they would work on a record for a year. That I told that story that Red Rain. Because I asked him about that song because I love the tune Red Rain off So, and Tony said that it was, I mentioned this before, but he said that they didn't have a bridge for 6 months on the tune. And Peter just didn't have an idea what he wanted to do there, and then he came up with a killer bridge on it. So Stuart Copeland on hi-hat and Red Rain. That's not true, is it? Is that actually true? That was an amazing, amazing record, though. And I talked about how Daniel Lanois did that record and then followed it up with Joshua Tree, which is incredible. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. Stuart Copeland played hi-hat on a song. Come on. Are you guys joking about that? That would be amazing if that were true. Cody. Okay, I don't recognize you, Cody. Are you new here? Could you talk about making a video on music schools, what to look for? Could I do a video specifically help practice routine? You start with that awesome often. I definitely have some videos on practicing that you should check out. And I've talked about music schools in some videos. No kidding, on Red Rain. That is amazing, of course. Of course. Well, that's cool because Stuart Copeland's one of the best hi-hat players ever. So he pulled him in just for that. But I'm listening to The Police a lot in the last 2 days. I've been playing it for the girls on the ride to school. And they really like it. And I realized how unusual Sting's writing is compared to anyone else. They sound nothing like any other band. So original. Every record, we're listening to Synchronicity today. If you think about, I was trying to play Synchronicity 2 the other day, but I played Synchronicity 1, and it's just incredible. The tempo of the tune, not that they I was going to say, they don't use the 1-4-6-5 except for the fact that Every Breath You Take was the quintessential song that is, what is it, 1-6-4-5, right? That's was their biggest song ever. But I don't think Stuart Copeland started off as a jazz musician. He was his dad. If you want, I'll tell you an interesting video to watch is Police Around the World, which is an early video they did where they traveled to all these weird places. They played in India, not weird places, but they places that rock bands wouldn't typically play. They played in, I want to say, Indonesia and the Philippines and India, places like that, because I think that their dad was in the CIA. Stuart Copeland's dad was, I believe, something like that. Which is why they have, they were on, what is their label? So there was Stuart Copeland, there's Miles Copeland that managed the band, and Ian Copeland, I believe, that was, their booking agent or something like that? Something like that. But the Copelands were all over the Police. Lebanon. I think Copeland's dad, I think that's actually how they were on IRS records originally. Let's see. Yeah, there's really, Copeland's dad was in CIA, had some connections with those countries. Yeah, I believe that's, he was a professor in Lebanon. Interesting. Well, the idea to have that reggae influence early on in the band actually came from them not being able to get a record deal, to be honest with you. The Police could not get signed. And they took some of the same songs, and when they went into to make the record, I'm pretty sure that they made a conscious decision to change some of the feels of the tunes to reggae tunes. And obviously, tunes like Roxanne are written with that, the guitar figures that are basically like what you'd find in a reggae tune. Miles, I don't think Miles is still Sting's manager. I think that they split up in the early '90s, but he may be. He may have gone back to him or something. but there was a lot of the drumming was, when I first heard the Police, it wasn't just Sting's voice. Obviously, you never heard those feels because they weren't all reggae. I mean, the first record had reggae influence on it, but then you have tunes like "Truth Hits Everybody" that is more like a punk tune, a really up-tempo punk tune, and there were plenty of tunes on that record that were rock tunes, you know. So "Truth Hits Everybody" was my favorite song on that first record. They had a lot of punk elements on there, and you'll notice too that Sting's bass chorus on it. A lot of the I was trying to play a Pearl Jam tune yesterday because they have I had the Alive thing, but that wouldn't play either, unfortunately. Interesting thing about Andy Summers. So he was 36, I believe, when they when they got signed. Andy Summers was born in 42, I think, something like that. So Andy Summers is Paul McCartney's age, and he was in his, he was in his 40s when they broke up, for sure. They put out their first record in 78. If he was born in 42, he was 36 then. So by synchronicity, in 80, 83, 84, he's he's in his 40s, 42 years old. December 31st, 1942. There you go. See that? How's that for a memory? Sting, 1951. Stuart Copeland, I'm not sure. 1950, I think. Andy Summers older than your mom. 42 seemed old then. It doesn't seem old now. What's my favorite song of theirs? Stuart Copeland, 1952. Look at that. Thank you. I will never forget that. He was born in the 50s, like the tune, Born in the 50s. That's another great song. That was a song off that first record, I think. Wasn't that on the first record, Born in the 50s? It's a great song. But it was a Stuart Copeland song, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so my favorite Police song, oh man, that's really tough. That's really tough because there's so many great ones. I have different ones for different moods. I love Invisible Sun. I love what is it? It's on Bring on the Night, actually. They do a great version, but I Burn for You, which was a B-side, was a great song. But the song, the version off Bring on the Night has a keyboard part, Kenny Kirkland playing it, or else it's a loop, and it's really, really incredible. I love Tea in the Sahara. I love Walking on the Moon. I love King of Pain. I love what was the tune? I'm trying to think of the singles off. I love Synchronicity 1 and 2. Man. Message in a Bottle. I mean, come on. Driven to Tears. There's so many good songs, but ones that stand the test of time are that are incredibly unique. One of my favorite ones is Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. It's just incredible. I think that is just such an original song. Everything about it is incredible. Oh, brother. Tom, did you really do Soda Stereo again tonight? Well, you didn't capitalize it. Okay. If I go one night without any Soda Stereo, I'll mention the band. Great bass parts in every little thing she does. I know. So it's an upright electric, I believe, that he plays on it. That has no, like, the pattern changes every single time, which is really incredible. And the piano part in it is amazing. It's really, really amazing. There's nothing like it that's on the radio, that's ever been on the radio like that, and will ever be on the radio. And Sting can say that. He can hang his hat on that, that nobody... I love Spirits in the Material World. Great call on that. He's tracking the drum part. Joe asked, he's tracking the drums with delay. A lot of the hi-hat parts are with delay. Wrapped Around Your Finger, Ray. Thank you. That was the one I was trying to think of. Miss Gradenko, I think is... I think that was an Andy Summers tune, wasn't it? I love the video of Wrapped Around Your Finger. I believe that's the one where they're running around with the candles, and it's shot in twice the speed, so it comes out and they're lip syncing to it, but they're moving in slow motion, yet they're synced up with it. I'm not sure how they did that, but it's incredibly cool. And then Sting, I think, comes through and uses the candlestick or whatever it is and knocks all the candles over. That's really, really amazing. That's really what a great Video. Did Stuart Copeland have a big ego? Well, I don't know. Who cares? You know. If you know, they were so great. If he had a big ego, he deserved to have a big ego. I had a Stuart Copeland story that I could tell you, but it was a Trey Stuart Copeland story. It was a great story, but I can't tell it. So, because Trey worked with Les Claypool from Primus, and he had his band with him and Stuart Copeland. And he told me a great story about it, but I can't tell you. But I do believe that he broke Sting's ribs before a concert at some point. I think they had an argument before some big show, like Shea Stadium or something crazy like that. And they got in a fight, and I think Stuart broke Sting's ribs. They'd have fights all the time, those guys. They hated each other. Shea Stadium, I believe it was. Sting didn't like it because Stuart always sped up in the tunes, and that really bugged him. I tell you this is interesting. Because of that, every breath you take is done with a programmed kick. If you ever listen to it, listen to the kick drum. It's a drum machine. Dun, 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 dun. It's a drum machine so that it's perfectly in time. So that was a big thing. The other thing that's interesting about the Police is that they did when they did the remake of Don't Stand So Close to Me, a really cool remake on one of their Police singles record. Stuart Copeland had a broken arm, I believe, and so he played each part one at a time. He did a snare part, he did a hi-hat part, he did the kick drum part. And they pieced together the drum thing because he was to have him on the track instead of programming it. He played each part separately. So Melodyne could have saved the Police. I'm not sure what that means. Sting didn't need Melodyne. Stuart got a black eye. Hugh Padgham mentioned in an interview he had to record spirits in a separate room because they were arguing all the time. That's not surprising. When does the NDA expire? I don't think that they ever expire. Got Trey stories. Subi, not Scooby, Subi. I always say Scooby. Scooby-Doo. I have tons of Trey stories. Hey, Nari's in the house. What's up? I have many Trey stories, but I can't tell them. I can only tell a few of them that don't involve anything, really. But his tech that got there every day at 8 a.m. and went through Trey's rig every single day, went through every tube, every single cord. There was never a buzz. He had an old Deluxe, I think Blackface Deluxe. And I would get there early and I'd play on Trey's rig a lot. I'd play his guitar, and it just had an amazing sound. He had a tube screamer. He had his Leslie 147 cabinet. It was amazing. If you had that sound, any of you guitar players out there, if you played with Trey's sound, you wouldn't believe it. It was so. I think he did play with two tube screamers. I think that's right. I have pictures of it, actually. I got pictures of his, tons of pictures of his setup. And he had a separate cabinet that we mic'd. And I mic'd it with, I mic'd it differently. I want to say I used a ribbon mic and something else. I'll dig out some pictures from it, because I can definitely show those things. But Trey had 3 different rigs exactly the same. I want to say each rig cost about 20 grand. So it was pretty amazing. But his tech was so meticulous that literally every tube, you would never, ever, ever hear a buzz, a nothing. It was dead silent. And this guy, his tech had been with him for years. He was the nicest guy too. And every day, every cable he checked, if there was a problem, if there was a little bit of a buzz or anything, he would freak out till he tracked it down, and then he would get it. So Paul Languedoc, that's who it was. Paul Languedoc was the guitar. No, that wasn't his tech. Paul was their sound guy. So Paul lived 20 minutes from the barn, and I went over to Paul's house. Paul Languedoc built Trey's guitars. So I met him. He was a really nice guy. Brian Brown, that's who it was, Joe. Very good. Brian Brown. So Paul Languedoc lived probably 20, 30 minutes away from Trey, the barn where the Trey owned, that Fish practiced at. So Paul invited me to come over one day. He picked me up from the studio, and we drove over to his house where his workshop was. He had his workshop in his garage. And Fish did all their first band practices at his house. That's where they would practice. And he had all these Languedoc guitars in kind of, here's a neck, here's a body and a neck, and he had all the machinery, everything for it, and he built all those guitars from scratch, and they were really, really amazing guitars. So I wish that I had some. I definitely have some pictures of that, no question about it. But it was really a great. It was a great experience playing on his gear, man. I really, really loved it. How much younger brother? Much younger brother, right? John's 4 years younger than me. First time on the chat. This John's first time. Yes, he didn't even know how to sign into it. Hang on 1 second. Feel free to talk. Anyway, so but that's all I can say about Trey at the time right now. I can't really talk about anything else. I'll think about other stuff I can talk. I wonder if I can share on my website. I could definitely share pictures though from the sessions. That's not that I don't think that's covered under the NDA, but I have to honestly look at the contract for it. I'm sure it's not because a lot of the ones Ken, my assistant, took. So they're his pictures, although he signed an NDA too, probably. I don't remember. But Tony Levin was taking pictures. He posted them, so I'm sure that it's not a big deal. I know, only NDA I ever had to sign. Only for that. What's up, John? Yeah, non-disclosure. That's I think it's the only one I had to sign. I'm not sure. But most other people, they don't care about stuff like that. We're always filming in the studio, things like that. I mean, I definitely filmed a lot of stuff, no question about it. Trey did a gig at Tree Sound here in Atlanta where we did some of the recording. They did a unannounced live gig that tons of people showed up to. When Trey was playing, if he was in town or anything, like I remember we went to dinner in Little Five Points here in Atlanta, and within 15 minutes, people all around town, Fish fans, knew that Trey was there, and they would just show up. So that's a window, not a mirror. That is a window. Oh, you're talking about back here? The window. Somebody remarked about how I was pointing to my friend Dan's direct box right there. That I pointed to it like that. Is there a guitar tone you're not crazy about? You don't have to mention names. No. Let's not get Terry mad at Rick. You never know. You might want to do a special project for us. Let's see here. Rick, if I record a session in 44, Alan says, at 44, then open the session in 48, will the files get corrupt? I don't think that you can open a 44 session in 48. You know, this is interesting. I had a couple times I went on the old mix system. Oh, I had this one nightmare session. Oh, man. We screwed up and we recorded different parts at different sampling rates and tried to put them together. Oh, my. It was a disaster. I'm not sure what happened, but I remember that. But we always then went down. Ray, you would slow it down 12%. Is that right? Oh, it was a mess because it was nothing. There was nothing lined up right. Oh, it was. We had to start over from scratch. What are the thoughts on Axe Effects? Did I make a video on it? I have not made a video on it yet, but I have it, and I think it's really cool. Although I really need some help on programming it. John, Michael Landau is one of the best improvisers. You know, I know about most of the guitar players that I know about, all the fusion guitar players, everything is because of my brother John, because he sends me videos all the time. He sent me Guthrie Govan. He sent me everybody that I've heard of over the last 10 years. He was sending YouTube videos. He sent me a YouTube video, a Metheny video tonight, around dinner time, of a gig from 1980 with the Metheny group. And what tune was Pat playing? He was playing a tune off American Garage. It was incredible. And his sound was unbelievably good. If you send me that video, John, I'm trying to remember what it was. I'll have to send it to my email or something, but it was called You guys will know this tune that know Metheny off American Garage. It was Hermitage. Yes. Beautiful song. Incredible guitar tone Pat had on there. By the way, you still have my Metheny album that Lyle signed. Oh, nice. I want it back. Lyle signed my white Pat Metheny album when he came to play my roommate Paul in chess. But Lyle was more impressed by the fact that we had a 4x4 painting of John Coltrane that my friend Paul's dad did in our apartment. Incredible Coltrane painting. So, is there a trick to synchronizing tracks if they're close? No, it's no, there is no trick. It's a nightmare. John is my brother that refused to play rhythm for me, so my mom had to play Hey Joe to solo. Yes, that's the same brother. He would never play rhythm for me. But he probably doesn't remember that. I'm sure he does actually remember that. You remember how she played her G chord like that, John? That's great. It was amazing. She's younger than we are now, I think then. She's probably about our age then, I would say, right? 51. She's probably your age right now then. Wrapped the thumb around, exactly. Played the G, muted the A string. It was great. John actually interviewed me for a sounding off one time, but I never put it up. We were just sitting on the couch. We didn't shoot it properly. We were actually not framed properly. We should have done that. But the Revenge of the Little Brother, I know. I would always play for him. As soon as it comes, he'd always have to solo first. I can imagine Layla and Lennon doing that, and then Layla walking away. That would totally be her style. Anyways, pretty funny, right? Roberta, your daughter was on the treadmill next to Paul McCartney. Really? Wow. Is that in somewhere in upstate New York? Near he's like Hastings in the Hudson or something like that. He lives. Okay, Alexander. Sampler usually set on project different pages. You would get multiple errors. 44.1, your opinion, if leaving it 32 floor. I mean, I pretty much set all my sessions now at 32-bit floating point. What's up, Kinch? Good to see ya. Welcome. I got my brother on here, Kinch. He's in the comments section. He's never been on before. Never seen any of my live videos. John, I don't think you've ever seen any of my live videos. But Paul stopped dyeing his hair orange already. I know, right? It's ridiculous. His hair would look so much better if it were gray. He'd look so much cooler. It's like, who are these guys trying to fool? Come on. Ringo didn't dye his hair. George Harrison didn't dye his hair. And he looked great. Warren does 48K. Yeah, I don't... Nari agrees. Look at that. Like Jimmy Page. Look how much better he looks. Jimmy Page looks way better when he stopped dyeing his hair. Reed making after this. Paul's got a hairpiece. You can see it from a helicopter. Is that true? Let's see here. When are we going to... We are going to redo a sounding off and... Oh, you're going to interview me, John says. Anyways. Jimmy Page can do anything he wants. He walks on... there you go, exactly. But Jimmy definitely looked way better with his gray hair. No question about it. I don't know why John doesn't have gray hair. My brother, and I do. I've got the most gray of anyone in the family. I don't know. I'm not sure why. But I don't care. I did earn every one of them. John on sounding off would be great. You mean me interview John? John only has one child and I have three. That's why. That's exactly right. It's Dylan's fault. John's 4 years younger. No, I had, JP looks like the classic composer he is with Gray. Yeah. When John's wife and my wife met, or when John met my wife Nina first, he said, this is 11 years ago, John said to my sister-in-law Sue, oh, she's much younger than you, and she's actually 2 months younger than his wife Sue, which was very funny. So that was kind of how that started. Kinch says, wait, Pat Metheny came to the University of Miami with gray hair. That's true. Pat had gray hair, almost all gray hair when he was 26, when I first met him. So I know that's actually true about Pat. Pat had very gray, almost all gray hair in his 20s. And then he would dye it, and I mean really prematurely gray. But by the time he was 26, half his hair was gray, and it looked cool. It actually looked really cool. Brett, you remember that, right? Back in the early 80s, he looked great. Lukather has been dyeing his hair since 25. So I watched Lukather. Our next older brother Ray sent me a Toto tune yesterday. We were talking about Toto. Our next older brother is a huge music fan. He got me into soundtracks. My next older brother Ray was the one he was listening to. He's like, man, you just need to listen to some of these film composers: Thomas Newman, James Newton Howard, all these people. So he's the one that got me into listening to that, which is funny, right? So, but we were talking about Toto. So I went back in and I watched some old videos of Lukather playing and singing in the early 80s, doing Rosanna, because he sings the verse part in Rosanna. I Won't Hold You Back, which is, he sings, it's his tune, which has a great guitar solo in it, and it is a great arrangement. That particular one is a James Newton Howard arrangement, and that's where James Newton Howard really got his start, is doing arrangements, orchestral arrangements for bands like Toto. You can't do Toto. Sorry. Maurizio, come on, man. I'm not a huge Toto fan, but I love Lukather. I love his playing. It's amazing. And there are 3 or 4 Toto songs that I really like, but that's about it. Never was a massively big fan, but I always would listen for Lukather's playing. When he played on other people's tunes, unbelievable. Toto wrote many songs for many artists. Well, they definitely played, Tom, on Shrugs. Africa was really annoying. Hold the Line. Yeah, Lukather was unbelievable. You know what, though? I will say this about and I agree, it is cheesy, Maurizio. I agree with you on there. That Lukather is... I always thought he had too many effects on his solos. They were way too wet. Really way too wet. Not on Rosanna. That was really good. The sound on that, but some of his other solos. The first Toto record. Honestly, it's almost impossible to distinguish the notes in his solos, I think. He had so much delay on it. David asked, what musical composition or song brings me to tears every time? Now, that's the kind of question I like. Wait, so what's my issue with Lane? What do I have an issue with Lane? Lane who? Lane Staley? I love Lane Staley. Oh, you're asking my brother John, Cinderella Man theme? That is a great theme. What do I like? Oh, I know. The Toy Story theme. I think it's because of the movie though. When the claw comes down and saves it's the Randy Newman part that where the toys get saved. I always cry at that. I can't help it. That's my favorite. When they go to the big E flat Lydian chord, right? This one. Hold on. Let me think here. They go to E flat Lydian before it goes back to D major. It's E flat Lydian over B flat, really. It's unbelievable. It's literally one of my favorite. It's literally one of my favorite scenes in a movie. It is really incredible. I get the same feeling every time I see it. I'm gonna play it right now. Hold on. We're actually gonna see it. Hold on. Oh, I can't play it off here. Ah, man. Oh wait, maybe I can. It's probably on YouTube. Hold on. I can play stuff off YouTube. The Claw. Let's see here. If I can open it up on Safari maybe and play it. Hold on. Do I have Safari even? Aaron hates Safari so much that I don't even think he put it in my dock. He's like, you don't need Safari. What do you want Safari for? Hold on here. I'm sure I have it, right? Safari. Look at that. He didn't even install it. Okay. Very unsafe. Safari. That's why he doesn't want me to use it ever. But I can play. I want to play. Let's see if they have the Claw. Hold on one second here. Toy Story. The Claw. Scene. Oh yeah. This music to this is unbelievable here. Yeah, incinerator scene. Hold on one second. I'm going to play it here. The furnace. Hold on. Let's see where this is from. Okay, this is it. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, I think that they don't play it all the way through. Hold on. Totally not cool if they don't have the right one. I own the movie, but it won't play on this machine for some reason. Yeah, it won't play. It's totally not cool. So that's my favorite. Wait, Toy Story, watch. No, I can't do that. Okay. Quit Safari. Quit. Sorry about that. But that's my favorite thing. Jim, you meant Sean Lane. His tone being so wet, so much delay. Yeah, I don't. A lot of his tone is really, is too wet. I don't know why. Barber's Adagio. Cats in the Cradle. I love Cats in the Cradle. Harry Chapin. Oh man, so good. Kinch says his friend Michael O'Donovan, just retired from Hollywood Soundstages, told me sessions with Randy were hilarious and amazing. Awesome. I want to hear about that, please. But that particular scene is unbelievable. The orchestration for it. I did a video on it. I can't remember what it was called, but the E.T. ending credits scene, or the where E.T. flies away, is a great moving scene too. I mean, there's a lot of them, but if I think of of classical pieces that I love the sound of, that are moving, like the first movement of Beethoven's Sixth Symphony is one of my favorite things, the Pastoral. It's unbelievable. That is one of the greatest themes ever, and it's just so beautiful. That whole entire first movement, the whole symphony, but the entire first movement is absolutely incredible. I love the. There's so many. It's hard to really kind of. It's hard to pick things out like that. There's just so many different things that I. John, do you know all the theory Rick teaches on the channel? John's probably gone to bed. John does not know all the theory. He'll tell you that. But John knows a lot of stuff. John's got a great ear. He can figure out anything. You're there? John can figure out anything that I could. John can figure out anything that he'd need to, even really complex things, no problem. That's there's definitely a genetic component. We were talking about our dad earlier tonight, and we were listening to a Sarah Vaughan tune that my dad loved. That is really beautiful, and talking about, if Dad didn't like jazz, what would we have turned out the same? Can he figure out the clusters I play on the piano? Yeah, he could figure out that stuff. Everybody in our family has an incredibly good ear. Elegy in memory of Maurice Ravel. I told that story, John, where John was. I was at his house one time, and this David Diamond, who's a composer from Rochester, New York, great modern composer, who died in 2005. He was born in 1918, I believe. He was a contemporary of, he taught at Eastman School of Music, modern classical composer. But anyways, I'm at John's house, and I hear this piece come on, and I didn't know anyone that owned this thing. And it was this, I said, is this David Diamond? And John says, yeah. And I said, I've never even heard this. I know this piece, but I've never heard this. John had the wind version of this tune, of this elegy in memory of Maurice Ravel, which is a beautiful piece. But I had the Nari knows the piece. We listened to it, but he had the concert band version, which is actually written first, then he adapted it for a string orchestra. String orchestra with like there's one celeste part in it, I think. And I said, how did you know this? And John said, I went to see David Diamond. I went to a concert with David Diamond there. And I said, what? Why? And John, why did you go to that? I don't even know. What's up, Rhett? So my brother saw David Diamond, a concert at the Eastman School of Music. It was honoring David Diamond. Was he retiring at the time? And they played that. I assume they played that piece, John. Is that right? And then you bought a CD of his music. He had the piece Rounds. He's got some really great pieces. So he's in the front row. Diamond Dave Diamond. That's pretty good. They played all his stuff at the concert. Was it the Rochester Philharmonic, John? Or was it some Eastman, was it the Eastman School of Music? Was it the orchestra that played? Eastman, okay. Great composer. If you get a chance, check it out. Check out that piece, Elegy in Memory of Maurice Ravel. It's there's a video in my. I have a video of Dylan when he's a baby listening to it, and it's just absolutely cool. It's a beautiful theme and variation. So that's definitely one to check out. Okay, so Rhett is here. Sorry that I keep shaking this thing here. You're watching on the phone now, J-Bone. Your thing crashed. Dundo, what's up? Rhett, you're about to upload your best video. We should wait till later. Don't upload it here. You want to get the maximum impact. You really should wait till the morning to upload it. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to ask this as a polling question here. What time? Thank you for that, Joe. That's take down that. Everybody copy that link that Joe just put up. That elegy, because it's an incredibly good piece. You're going to really like it a lot. You guys should watch that or listen to it. I mean, what is the best time for me to upload videos? I'm on Eastern time. When I upload a video, are you guys shocked that they just appear at any time? This is a question for the community right now. Oh, you can't watch it, Jeremy. So this is my question. What is a good time? Do you guys just say, when's Rick going to upload a video? Or they just come out anytime? And Joe, yeah, it's conducted by John Adams, I believe. That's right. 3 p.m., good distraction from work. 3 p.m. Eastern time, Kevin? I don't know. Maybe I should set a specific time for when to expect it. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. Feel like morning or late afternoon, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. Really surprised when you posted a video 5 minutes before your live stream. Yeah, that's not a good time, actually, is it? Anytime. You know what? I have there's a in YouTube there are analytics for when the best time to post your video is, and because people watch from all over the world on my main channel, there's literally no time that is the best time. It's pretty much evenly distributed amongst the world. It's fascinating. There's really no, because normally they can say there's really obvious for most people that upload on YouTube. There are really noticeable spikes for when you can say, oh, this is the best time for you to upload your stuff. everything on mine is just straight across. That no matter what time I upload, it really doesn't matter. David Diamond, born in 1915. I said 1918. I apologize, but died in 2005. Is that correct? He died in the 2000s. I know that. From Joe's link. You know, it may be a problem being played in Germany. It was originally released on None Such Records, which is owned by UMG now, of course. Lorenzo, you actually wake up for the live streams. That is awesome. Love it. No best time for me to upload because music cuts across all countries. There you go. Anyways, so that's yeah, so I'm thinking about my next video to do that I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Not sure. I thought about doing a video where but I don't know how, you know, I was going to do a video where I put together all of my modal compositions right in a row to go right from the modes in the major scale through melodic minor, through harmonic minor, through harmonic major, and then through the double harmonic major, and then go and have the put my diminished, augmented scale, whole tone scale pieces right after that. So it's just one long music video. John, you'll think of a topic and send to me like I always do. John always gives me topics to do videos on. Video of me composing something live would be great. No, that would actually be very boring, Johnny. That would be boring because you'd have to include me going to Starbucks in the middle of the day and doing things like that. So there is no sustained work time here. Nari disagrees. She knows I got. She sat with me here. She knows. Tomorrow I go in the morning. Dylan made the dean's list, or I said this last night. I think the principal's list they call it at his school. So I have to go to school because he gets they're honoring all the kids that made at his school that made this. They get some type of award or something like that. And I said, yeah, Dylan, I made the principal's list all the time, but it wasn't for the same reason. I went to I was always on the principal's list for some reason. The bass player in John's band, his mom, Joy Tiberio, who's no longer with us, worked in the office at our junior high, and every time I would get in trouble, her son Bill and her three sons were are really close friends, and like I said, one of her sons plays in John's band, Dave, and is in my band, the Monroes. He was the drummer. Anyways, so anytime I go down, I get in trouble, I go down to the office, Mrs. Tiberio would totally hook me up and say, okay, don't worry about it, I'll handle it. And then would send me back to class, write me a note. So I never got in trouble. Not what you know, right? Rick already did that, Rotomotive. Okay, wait, what did I do? John, the Godfather. John is the Godfather of the town that he lives in. Rick already wrote a motif and expanded. I mean, Bonacera, what have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? That's the, John knows that, right from the Godfather. Modes would be a great music theory to add to your playlist. I watched that, once again, I watched the intro to The Godfather today. That's my favorite scene, is the introduction. It's amazing. That's let's see here. Hey Rick, wondering if you have appreciation for hip hop artists like Madlib, who take heavy influence from jazz music. Um, um, do I have an appreciation for hip hop artists? I do, I have appreciation for certain hip hop artists. Um, I'll check out Madlib. I don't know Madlib, but that doesn't mean anything. But I will check out. I'm gonna make a note of that. If you want to send me something, send me an email with it. Um, revealed about the Godfather. I saw some deleted scenes from the Godfather that are really great. Um, let's see, a quick review of my Gibson Les Paul double cutaway, please. Aaron, you need to watch that movie. Oh man, we've got my brother John, we have Aaron, we have Rhett, all on the same live stream. This is really, really weird. Hold on, I'm going to get my guitar here because I get asked this a lot. So here it is. This is my double cutaway, right? You guys seen it on here? So this is I have no idea what year this is, but it's a great, beautiful, beautiful guitar. It's, if you can see, it's got a tremendous amount of wear on the neck. I like to play in the middle of the neck, as you can see, right? But this has one of the best necks that of any guitar I've ever played, and the way the guitar hits the back of the neck is extremely comfortable to play. I really, really enjoy I like it. It's really easy to reach up high. As you can see, I'm right here at the end of the fingerboard. My hand is very comfortably right against the body here, and then I know I've got the top fret there. As soon as my hand goes there, I know I just go boom, and I know that I'm right at the top fret, which I really like. Those kind of things about a guitar. I don't know if they planned that, but the fact that the body and the end of the fingerboard are right in the same spot is a really great design feature of this guitar. Okay, see that? The pickups on it, the P90s, sound incredibly good. They can do a lot of different things. It's one of the few Gibson guitars that sounds great in the middle position with a pickup blend on it. Okay, and it's light, and it has a very thin neck, as you can see, much like the 60s Les Pauls. Really thin neck on it. Very, very easy to play, easy to get around on. And it's got a phenomenal tone. But the action is unbelievable. It's so easy to play. So I love this guitar. I mean, it's really comfortable. I can comfortably reach from the 7th fret up to the 15th fret, no problem. That feels really good. It's it's a great guitar. It's really probably my best playing guitar, I would say. If I had to pick one, yes, that neck wear is all for me. I bought the guitar brand new, and it shocks me that it's about. It has the original frets though. That's the weird thing, is that it's. I've had them. I had them recrowned, and they're not huge frets on it. They're actually really thin frets, but it feels great. If I had it refretted, I would probably not use really big wire on it. So, anyways. I mean, I have a lot of guitars, but it's, yeah, those are the original frets on it. I've never had, there's very few guitars I've had a fret job on, honestly. It's so well balanced too. It's just, it's really incredible. And I've gone from 10s to 9s because my buddy Dave that sets up my guitars convinced me, and I think that it's, that it just feels great. I really enjoy it. I've never tried 9.5s. I see my brother John and Joe use them. Ray says fret dress is all it needs. I know. The thing that you know, when you're a producer, you really need to have in tune playing guitars. So you know, I would end up getting, anytime you get any type of denting in the frets, you get really bad intonation problems. You don't want to have flatness on the top of the frets. Miro says 9s are more expressive. You know, I agree with that. I think that I feel like I have more control over the notes, honestly, when I'm playing them, when I'm playing on 9s. I really do. I really, really enjoy it. Ray says that, no, the Lameloid says here, aren't guitars with painted necks kind of a gamble? There might be some knots in them. You know, when I picked that guitar out, I swear I bought that at Guitar Center. It was on a rack with 5 other ones, and I played all 5, and that was the best playing one. That was the best playing, best sounding one. I picked it out in 5 minutes. I played it. No, I don't like that. Boom. No. Boom. I found that one. I was like, oh, this one's amazing. Put that to the side. There were different color ones, and I plugged it in. Once I played it to see the feel of it, then I plugged it in. And then it sounded, I couldn't believe how good it sounded. When you switch to 9s, you need a setup. So my Dave Honorato, John, when he set it up, he took my guitar and he set it up and put 9s on it and set it up for 9s. And it's really, I've done that with all of my guitars now. I've gone to 9s, and I really enjoy it. What's the minimum price, Nick asked, to pay for a guitar? Honestly, that guitar there is, I probably paid $550 for it, something like that. Paul, you use 11 flat ones for fingerstyle jazz. That guitar, in a lot of my videos that I play that guitar, I'm playing flat wound strings on it. If you go back to all the videos I did last year on that guitar, they're all flat wound strings. So I had 11s. I had the Diodario Chromes. That's what I played on it. So, and then I had it reset up for 9s. So there you go. That particular guitar, I played flat ones. When some of the videos that I had, some of those videos that I did, a lot of the early ones when I'm playing that, I'm playing flat ones. Have I ever played a PRS? I owned a PRS one time. I had it built, custom built. That they actually built for me. It was a custom 24, but the neck I ordered, because I had a kid that came in here that had a great PRS, great playing guitar. I was never a fan of PRSs, honestly, but this guitar played so well, and I called the company. Their A&R, their artist rep was Jack Higginbotham, I think his name is. I believe he was this president of the company at the time, not Paul Reed Smith, but he. I think that was his name. And Jack was a fan of some of the bands I worked with, like Need to Breathe. And they said they'd make me a guitar, and they made me this custom 24, and I didn't like it. So, because I didn't know what kind of neck to order. And I ordered the wider neck, and I should not have ordered it. Jack Higginbotham. Joe, is Jack still at the company? Do you know anything about that? Because he was this is years ago. but he was a huge fan of the records I produced. Just woke up. Oh man, thank you. Look at that. Appreciate it. 7 a.m. in Russia. There we go. Perfect time to come on. Much better in the rubles. Love rubles. Perfect time to come on, though. Right when you wake up. Welcome. If the guitar resonates, that's all. Hardware can be changed. That's a big thing about it. You know, it's really. Any of you guys know that buying an instrument, whatever kind of instrument it is, you got to play it. You know, people ask me, you guys have asked me here, why don't I have a jazz guitar? Why don't I play a jazz guitar? Well, I can't buy a guitar for, I cannot buy a guitar to play jazz on that I cannot try out. And I don't know, I was talking to my friend Peter Smart about this. He was asking me about, he plays these guitars, Peerless guitars. And he really likes them. And I told Peter that I can't buy a guitar that I can't try out. Well, the problem is there's no place to try out guitars around here, really. There's one place, Maple Street Guitars, that has some hollow bodies, but Scooby-Doo, okay, so Jack Higginbotham is the current COO at PRS. Okay, so he's still there. There's one place that does have jazz guitars, but they have Eastman guitars, and Eastman makes really good. They make decent acoustics, I believe. I've not really tried. I tried a couple of their arch tops, and I thought they were okay, but you know, I have to play the guitar first. You can't buy a jazz guitar without playing it, and there's just no place to go. And honestly, I should go to the NAMM show if I want to try a guitar out, really. But I mean, I typically don't buy new guitars, so I don't want a semi-hollow body. I don't like 335s. I mean, I like 335s, but I don't want to buy a 335. So my brother John has a lot of guitars, but he doesn't have a gift. He doesn't have a he doesn't have a jazz guitar. No Gibson at NAMM this year. Yeah, I know about that. That's really ridiculous. Have I ever played a Parker Fly? Yes, I did not like it at all. Joe Collings. So the singer from my old band, Mark, had a Collings, and he loved it, and I played it, and it's you know, I thought it was a great sounding guitar. He still has it, actually. I'd love to try it out again from him. I remember he's had that guitar 20 years now at this point, but I bet it sounds incredibly good. Let's see here. Am I throwing some jazz shade? What do you mean, Joe? Jazz shade at what? You mean about the Parker Fly? I just don't like the way the guitar, the bodies, they look really weird to me. Is that what you're talking about? So yeah, I can't get into that body style. It's very weird, and I don't know if the fingerboard's a composite. I'm not sure. But anyways, so not a big Parker Fly fan. So anyways, all right, it's an hour and a half. I'm gonna play some music out right now. I got to go because I got to work on my my video for tomorrow right now. I got to start it. So so I actually have to work tonight. How do you like that? I'm actually going to work. You guys are awesome. It's great. I'll play some music here for a minute. You guys can chat. Thank you.